Well, hello, Chassos. How's everybody doing on this fine Friday night, as far as Katachan is concerned? But I'm assuming, because apparently 97% of my chat are all Canadians, it's your Thursday, I think? Maybe you're on an AM for Friday, I don't know. But hello, everybody. Bill, Bull, Odysseus, Arby, any other names that I didn't see in the chat, but welcome to everybody. We are going to be playing tomorrow in an RTT. Now, it is going to be a relatively small event, and we are going to be looking to put some hurt down with some double surges. Now, I've had some people ask me about the double surge tech, and there's a couple of things. So the first thing is that... and I'll show you guys how I'm going to do this. We're going to have a Storm Surge go 20 inches on the first turn, which is fucking hilarious. The other Storm Surge, funnily enough, is going to be going a minimum of 14 inches. Minimum 15 inches. Minimum of 15 inches on the first turn. And the other thing, even though this is hilarious, I actually wouldn't recommend doing this on, like, if I were playing on my terrain as a TO, where we've got like the, the big 3-story ruins and, like it's fully blocked out and everything else. It's on like the little proper rectangular bases and everything else. I don't think the surge is as good, though I have to test it. This one is using the old school GW terrain, which is all like squares and everything else. And even though it will have bases, like there's shitloads of windows all over everything. So that means that my towering unit can just touch one thing and then basically see the board, which is just so fun. We're expecting to have some fire lanes. We're expecting to have, a decent bit of stuff there. And this is why you see some people at GW events take some of the real big stuff, even when it's not good, because you've just got so much that you can, like, punish people who can't just see through an entire square terrain feature. But you'll actually see them. I know the lighting isn't amazing, but there's Reptar. And there is loaned by one of our players, Liam Flanagan. There is the other Storm Surge. And that's not to be confused with the other Liam Flanagan from Facebook that has chosen to die on the hill that all flyers until the end of the time are dog shit. And if anybody says anything different, I'm going to, like, passively aggressively attack you. No, this is the other Liam Flanagan. This is Flano. And his missus, Flannelette, which is nickname of her choosing, by the way. Nickname of her choosing. Poor Dan's going to be so sad. No, Dan loves it. Dan loves it. He has been chomping at the bit to play me for the first time. Though he was looking a little white in the face when he might have gone into me at round 3 of that other RTT. And he's just standing there looking at the board just like, this was the Wolves list, by the way. He's like, I don't know how the fuck I beat that. Even just mathematically, I don't know how the fuck I beat that. Which is fair because, like, this was pre-nerf Wolves. So, yeah. I found that you'd gotten a Tiger Shark in as well. Well, I may have a Tiger Shark or two on the way. A very, very kind individual with a very large printer has answered the call. So we're gonna see if I can get that before GW just, like, yanks them from competitive play, which is actually another thing. And I'm going to record a proper video on this just as like a buyer beware sort of thing, because all of that, I released the video and then all this like pulling it from the store and all this other like shit starts like coming up in a really, really big way. And I'm like, I don't want somebody to go out and buy a model because I have been happy about it. Like, I like making videos on shit that I think is cool. And it's not for me to like try and direct purchases in any particular way, but I can't get away from the fact that somebody's going to watch that, maybe not know as much about Tau or whatever, and feel like it influences them to feel like they want to go out and buy something. If that happens and then GW pulls it and this person just spent like, upward of $420 Australian to go and get that fucking model. And yes, it's pulled from the GW store, but you never know how quickly damage can be done. Or they do it with the AX10 and they're like, all right, I'm just going to run that as a Tiger Shark, which it's basically the same fucking model, so why not? But yeah, and it just like, I don't want, or even buying from recasters. Because recasters will do this just on demand or whatever. And yeah, and then having that yanked and that person's like, all right, I'm out of a bunch of cash and fuck that YouTube because they're the one that did this to me. Even though, you know, technically you could turn around and be like, hey, you know, buyer beware. I don't think that's an attitude that I want to take when I can actually warn people like, hey, this is some of the shit that's been coming up as a result of this. You know, maybe just like hold off. Like get it if it's a collector's item for you. Get it if it's something you just love so fucking much that if it goes away, you won't care. But if you're chasing this for power, don't do it. Don't do it. Hang on. There is a billion other things we can use in the codex. But, yeah. All right. So, let's go with, I wish it weren't working tomorrow so I could throw a Lancer at it. The Lancer would not like my Storm Surges. It is a coin flip for whether you live or die. Straight up, you are a Custodes player with a big knight. It is a coin flip if you live or die, which is not really a position a lot of people want to be on. But yeah. All right, so let's start with the list. Now, I brought it up in Battlescribe, but Battlescribe is like way too fucking small. So I'm gonna leave the Yap Cam on, and we're just gonna like chat about the list. So starting with the Epic Heroes, Shadow Sun. Now, why Shadow Sun? One, she is really good to put in Tails You Lose. Yeah, basically. Yeah. So she's really good to put in between two Storm Surges or a couple of different units or whatever. One, a lone op character like her nets out a screening network that allows you know, like her to fit in positions that other people wouldn't want to because they get shot, but a lone op won't get shot from that position. You also put her in range of the two Storm Surges, and even if you don't have stealth suits to help them guide, to get the reroll ones to hit and wound, though I do have 3 stealth suits in the list, don't get me wrong. Having reroll ones to hit, especially later in the game, even if she's just following around one Storm Surge, that Pulse Blast Cannon getting reroll ones is like you need to be getting those shots through. You need to be. But but the coin flip favors your opponent with your luck, Jay. That is true, but if I flip that coin 5 times in a row, I can't possibly lose, right? Right? So anyway, Shadow Sun. The other thing is that the Storm Surges are great targets for stratagems. The first is the -1 damage strat. So if I'm using that, being able to get something back on a 2 CP expenditure means that it becomes less crippling of a CP sink over time. And obviously you want something like -1 damage on the Storm Surge because it makes them so much more obnoxious to kill. It also means that if you're going for the extra -1 AP, like for example, say put a Stealth Suit unit or Shadow Sun herself and the Storm Surge into a target with a lot of the really little AP guns or whatever, where you know the Pulse Blast Cannon isn't going to be getting big value, but you're doing it for the Cluster Rocket system and, you know, the SMS and all of the other shit. Spending that 1 CP is very, very worth it because then all of that volume gets AP, which is what's really lacking about the Storm Surge's other guns at the moment. So being able to try and get a CP refund on that, yes, it's on a 5-up, and it'll very rarely go off. If you're me, it'll never go off. But I built this list considering other people that aren't cursed by the dice gods because they accidentally fucked someone's wife or daughter or aunt. It's been a long lifetime, let's be honest. All right, so then we've got Darkstrider. Now, Darkstrider has been having his stonks go up with me quite a bit. And the reason is that in the nexus of Pariah, we're finding that there are a lot of actions that you don't want to be throwing away some very high-value bodies on. You want to have things which are able to sit in obnoxious positions and do what you need them to do. He's also an additional guider if you need it. He's Marker Light, he's Infiltrate, he's Scout Move, he's whatever. Also, Deep Strike Denial is becoming even more apparent and useful in the current iteration of the game. GSE melee build is apparently slapping quite hard. You've still got Grey Knights in the meta. You've still got Marines with Inceptors. If you go into the mirror with Tau and you go into Retaliation Carter, they absolutely want to drop Sunforgers within friggin' 3 inches of the Storm Surges and unload because there's a good chance that they're able to kill it with the reroll wounds and reroll damage and all that sort of stuff. So Darkstrider for me has been going up quite a bit, and also it allowed this list to function without the Trail Shaper holding Strike Swiftly. So he goes in one of the Devilfish. One of the Fireblades starts on the board with Strike Swiftly. He is in between the two Storm Surges because we want them to pregame move. Then we've got Darkstrider able to get out after moving this Devilfish. So we've got two Storm Surges moving, and we've got a Devilfish moving. That is a lot of pre-game moves to have as part of your game plan. It gives you a lot of flexibility, and also with the Pathfinders that I've got in the list, it gives them the Grundy Maneuver 1.0. There is a second Fireblade in there because I've gone for double Breacher teams. I've gone for double Devilfish. And then what I've really tried to fill out, because you've invested 800 points into these two big models, which you have to use appropriately, correctly, and with the right amount of controlled aggression in order to win games. Then I've just filled it out with bodies. Bodies that I can throw away and trade and do everything else and really get value for the Storm Surges over time. So I've gone for a Crew Carnivore unit, sticking objectives in this, like, this meta that we're maybe going to be going into, if my estimation is correct, as long as you're not screening your life out. Being able to sticky something, especially near to the end of the game, when your opponents run out of resources and they can't be everywhere at once, they don't have deep strikers anymore. Even if they kill a Carnivore unit from range, if they can't stand on that objective, you just keep getting VP over and over again. I friggin' love these guys. I've got a unit of Fast Stalkers in here, just because infiltrate shenanigans is friggin' broken. Now, I will be deploying them knowing that I do not have redeploys, and I may have to throw them away in the first instance that they start taking damage. But I can also deploy very conservatively if I'm not worried about having to screen off my opponent or deny infiltrators or whatever else. Fast Talkers is still fantastic. Pathfinders, obviously, because I'm in a Mont card detachment, I'm favoring the Ion Rifles just for the output. These guys are fantastic. Triple stealth team, fusion on each of the leaders, a gun drone and a marker drone. Now, marker and shield. I forgot to put change the drones on them. The reason I've been favoring marker and shield is the gun drones are functionally dead. And I think I was saying this in a previous stream. Gun drones, you can't advance an action anymore unless you've got the modifier on the mission that you can advance an action. And in which case, you don't need to be eligible to shoot. It gives you can perform an action after advancing. So the marker drone allows you to advance and guide. So what purpose does the gun drone serve outside of 2 extra shots that are strength 5, AP 0, damage 1? I'm really favoring having a Shazvra, which is 3 wounds as opposed to 2. The gun drone only just beat it out before, but because there was utility attached to it. It was never a mistake to take the gun drone. Then obviously we've got the battlesuit support system for fallback and shoot on the Shazvra. This is necessary to fall back and still be able to guide somebody. All right, so then we've got double Piranhas with the Fusion Blaster, double Seeker Missiles. There's not more that I really need to say about these guys. They are great to shove in your opponent's face, dump the Seeker Missiles, dump the Fusion, and then go, cool, kill me so I can spend 1 CP, and my Storm Surges get full rerolls to hit against those targets for the rest of the game. So, yeah, really loving the Piranhas in the current iteration of the game and what they give you in Montcar. And that's the list. It's 1995 points. There is only 1 enhancement in the list, but we're going to get some games in on it, and we're going to see how we feel about it. Though, I do think this will be a very, very obnoxious and hard thing for a lot of armies to take down because they are not teching for 2 big Titanic models. Maybe they're worried about Knights, so they bring a bunch of anti-tank, but there aren't as many Knights that fire a 12 damage gun at somebody. So, yeah. All right. Let's catch up with a bit of chat. Let's have a little bit of a yap. And then let's go into Tabletop Simulator, where I'll show you how to send a Storm Surge 20 inches on the first turn. And if you even need to in a lot of instances. But, yeah. Did Wolves even get a nerf? Yes, they did. Thunderwolf Cav went up 20 points for the 6-man, from 180 to 200. And obviously 10 points for the 3-man. And Wolfen went up, I think it was 180. I think they were 160 before. So, and that's for a 10-man unit as well. So they went up 10 points per 5-man. It means that I've dropped a unit of Wolfen, and I wasn't able to plug in a scout unit and another Incestors unit with the jump packs, because those guys were really great. I really, really love them. They really caught me by surprise by how much I love them. I'll bring up my Wolves list, and I'll let you know what I actually changed. So let's go to the Hounds of Mushu. So I got the list back to 1995. The only changes, I've got a Cyber Wolf in there. I've got a unit of Fenrisian Wolves, and everything else is the same. So from that nerf, I had to drop a unit of Wolfen, and all I got back was a Fenrisian Wolf unit and a Cyber Wolf. And I would even think of taking them out, but that's 55 points. So, yeah, 55 points is hard to fill in with Marines. It really, really is. I could maybe drop the Librarian in Phobos armor in favor of getting another scout unit, but I think having the Infiltrators not be able to be killed outside of 12, just non-interactable whatsoever. Cannot deep strike, cannot shoot out of 12. Non-interactable holding home field objective on a very elite army is a bit of a boon. Now, one thing I'm going to do, let's check on a little bit of mood music in the background. All right, what do we got? What are we feeling? Let's go for this one. Let's make sure we turn it down a little bit, just so it doesn't come through the mic. All right, let's go for that. Just a little bit of mood music. A little bit of mood. Saw rumors suggesting the Mass Color Forge world resin as a result of changes to British laws regarding resin and plastics. It was on the IF Discord, but didn't really quote any specific source. Yeah, interesting. Okay. You got to be able to hit the thing before I Kool-Aid Man at you. Oh, I can hit the thing. I can hit the thing. Here's the thing though. I actually really love the double Storm Surges into the Knights matchup, because the Pulse Blast Cannon, if I shoot 2 shots at you and you fail 1 invulnerable save, an Armiger is dead, which is a really, really nice position to be in, because on 2 coin flips, on average, you lose, and only 1 of them you can rotate ion shields. So I can also make somebody think I'm shooting at a big knight and then just turn and pick up Armigers. And as we both well know, once the Armigers are off the board, then all of a sudden, knights have a really, really hard time playing the game. Obviously, it gets better in Prior Nexus because you can action and still be able to shoot with your big knights. But it also means that eventually, those guns will turn onto the big knights. And if I've kept my Storm Surges in a position where you can't really interact with them, then that will overall favor me over time. But, obviously I don't have any data for that sort of theory yet, but I think Storm Surges are going to have a favorable matchup into Knights, even with the changes to how they move through walls. But yeah. Played against a Marine player the other night that passed 37 Filno Pains on his Lone Op Lieutenant. Yeah, I found out from Flano he may be running a Swarm of Templar list for a certain event. He's bringing 100 Marine bodies. I think it might be 100 heavy intercessor equivalents or some shit. I don't know how he's pulling it off, but it's kind of ridiculous. Jumping back through the list, try and see how close double Storm Surge went for is what I took the other day. Missed the Tiger Shark rant at the start. What was the issue? Oh, okay. So I was just saying that I'm going to put a video out because as soon it was, predestined to happen because GW fucking hates me. I put out a video on the Tiger Sharks because I like making videos on shit that I think is cool. That's my entire reason for doing this. I don't like doing something I could make a ton more money and get views and everything else and get a bunch of new people into the channel if every fucking month like clockwork I did a list building video, a tier list, what are the most points efficient units, what are the best Tau units, top 10 Tau, to what is the best detachment, what is whatever. And I will make those videos eventually, but like, I make stuff that I think is cool, and I hate vapid, empty-headed content. Shit that, like, actually doesn't help people win games, but just, like, plants ideas in their head. The Tiger Shark, if anybody watched the video, nobody can say that was a low-effort video. I gave fucking, like, examples for everything in, like, why I was saying that it was strong, or it was good, or we could use it, or the buffs were relevant, or whatever else. So when that happens, all of a sudden I start getting, like, people posting things like, hey, Tiger Shark just went off the GW website. And, like, this has happened, and this has happened, and this has happened. And I'm just like, oh my fucking God. So, like, I want to put out a video just being like, hey, fucking remember always, buyer beware. I made a video about something I think is cool. Don't then take that and run out and spend like $400 to $800 fucking dollars. Now, yes, it's removed from the store, so people won't be able to go and do that, but there's also the AX1, which is up there. And if they're like, I'll just get that and I'll run it as a Tiger Shark forehead because they're the same model, somebody blowing that amount of money, and then it gets, like, the rug gets pulled and GW go, all right, now we're removing it, which isn't advanced information. I don't know any of this shit. It's just, with everything they're doing, writing looks like it's on the wall. I don't want to have influenced somebody to have gone and spent a bunch of money, and then the rug gets pulled on them and they feel fucking horrible about it. And then I've contributed to somebody either hating me, the game I love, and then not actually going forward, like just leaving the game because a YouTuber did something like that seemed like it was bullheaded or whatever, but actually, like, you know, I cannot believe that all this shit starts happening right after I make a video. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put up a kind of like a warning for people, like, hey, we're seeing some writing on the walls. Watch the video. If you're in love with the model or you've already got it, then use the shit I'm talking about. If not, just enjoy it as a Tau video, whatever. You're not going to own one. That's fine. It might be going away anyway. So, you know, whatever. You don't lose anything. But yes, that was roughly the rant. We do 100% have data on GW pulling units that sold out on the web store post Codex now. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, writing's on the wall. I'm not doing it with, like, GW having sent me an email like, hey bro, by the way, we're gonna remove this. Can you make a video to sell our stock for us? It was absolutely, I found something cool, decided to make a video, spent 2 days editing it, and then now I'm just like, oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. Just I'm cleaning the dust off my Tiger Shark for a game tomorrow because I never considered running it in a 2K game. I used to just use it for APOC. That's cool, man. That's cool. Town Iron and Tiger Shark, unironically, might be gone next MFM if they do that again. Yeah, they might. All specs and tactical tortoise have already taken up most of the room in the 40k content farm space. I mean, maybe. If I wanted to do it, I genuinely think that I would be able to compete with some of the big boys. Because at the end of the day, there are definitely going to be people that gravitate to my personality, my style of doing things and everything else. I mean, I look at the moderate success I've had as a very small YouTuber. And, like, even just being able to have a dedicated fan base with, you know, less than 5,000 or 10,000 subs or whatever the mark is on YouTube. I don't know what the YouTube success marker is, but anyway, I think I would be able to. I think I would just hate myself. I think I would hate myself, and I would not look back on my work and feel good about what I've done. And that's not throwing shade at anybody. That is a personal opinion. That is the stuff that I want to make and the stuff that would keep me doing this for long periods of time. I like teaching people. I like finding out after that somebody's like, hey, everything you said was really helpful, really useful, and I've started winning events and everything else. And I've been getting more and more messages like that now, and that feels really fucking good. That's what keeps somebody doing something long term. So yeah, it's like 17 PowerPoints a week, but still a PowerPoint. I mean, yeah, that's what people are into. But yeah, so let's load up some Tabletop Simulator. Let's send some Storm Surges down the field, and let's see let's see what we can do with this business. All right, so I'm not gonna launch the green screen behind me, so I'll just like maybe reduce the cam a little bit. Yeah, it's just, I don't need to be that big for this. All right, so let's just load up some FTC. Now, obviously, I'm using a WTC terrain pack, but that's not what I'll be playing on. So, grain of salt for all of this. And obviously, I will play according to the terrain that I'm looking at. But let's get this up. Let's get this up. Let's go search. What do we want to run? What do we want to run? You know what? Let's have a look at Tippy Tip. Let's go the old Tippy Tippy. Full screen the camera, put the game in the corner. I guess that's one method of doing things. Oh, and also shout out to Holy Grail, who we are 100% going to be using our Redmont car dice for tomorrow. We use red dice because they go faster. That's how I get around my dice curse, is using a set of dice that I know go faster than everything else. So shout out to Grail who gifted us those. Really, really nice of him. Nope, not there. Oh, that. Lucky it was light. Okay, it fucked up his little spawn button. So let's have a look at the maps before we chuck it in. You are medium with super ruins. I think we did tipping point against Sam on that one. Actually, the tables we're going to be on are actually going to be closer to light. So let's go that. All right, cool. So, what's our plan with all this? Let's just load up. Have I got my? Oh, I've got double surge list I did for one of my Pantheon tier patrons. Shout out to the Pantheon tier, fucking ballers. So let's grab some surges. Now the list won't be 1-to-1, but it's pretty close. So, what I'm gonna do is like some degenerate shit like this. I'm going to put 2 storm surges either side of this building. And then go, all right, if I don't go first, I just like move back 6 inches. And mitigate by distance. And if they don't have any long range shooting I'm scared of, I just still do this. Because basically what I'm going to do is grab a unit of breaches and a fire blade. And we're going to chuck him like pre-measured 6 inches away from both surges. And with his unit obviously like hard up against the wall so they can run out and do their thing. And this is more effective than you'd think it is. Let's get rid of that. Because breach is running out, being able to advance and shoot and do all their things. Like, dudes getting out 12 is actually easy to do the later in the game you get, and you've got CP that you can spend on them for the auto advance 6 strat. But anyway. Storm Surge here. Close as I can to this wall. Storm Surge here with nothing clipping so that I can run straight forward without losing any distance. And this is all just on one side of the table. This is on a very specific map set. So, bring out Mushu. I'll see where he is, actually. Sorry, everybody. The Pantheon tier member has spoken. Mushu. Storm, I want you to know he was sleeping and he was very comfy on top of the couch. And now, there you are, performing for everybody. Let's just... Oh. Hey, money. A little bit of Mushu time for the cam. You're cool. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello. He's still on his hunger strike because we haven't gotten any storm surge buffs. So he's been moderate today. He's only taken 7 treats and a couple of meals. So, all right, let's put him back on the couch so we can have a look. Sorry for waking him. He's fine. He's going to wake up and be a demon later anyway, so we may as well get some beans out. All right, so 2 storm surges. Both within 6 for the pregame move. We have, let's just chuck something on the other side of the board. What army's going to chuck down? Let's go some sisters who'll be doing it for themselves. All right, now, I don't really need to deploy the rest of my army, but if I'm this sisters player, I'm hiding, like, Castigator there. I'm hiding Castigator maybe back here, maybe inside the wall there if they're a bad player. Let's go, yeah. If I'm looking at this double surge, I don't know where they would want to put this Castigator. Probably, like, back fucking here. Then we've got a Rhino, which will need to drive out, just being, like, around here. Immolator. Whoop, picked up the wrong thing. Immolator here, getting ready to drive out. Because at the end of the day, like, this sort of a list, they have finite amounts of room that they can sit and still be able to do stuff. So, Exorcist, whatever. Obviously, I'm not placing, like, hyper conservatively incorrectly, but yeah, let's just go like that. And yeah, we'll just do the vehicles just to start. So they're in a couple of places. The Immolator, maybe they don't put it there, maybe they put it back there, but they've also got to think about how the fuck they're going to get to objectives on their turn. So let's just, like, look at that. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So both Storm Surges get a 6-inch scout. Go into there. Cool. Then the Storm Surge, I'm going to pay for 1 CP for this guy to auto advance 6 inches. So instead of 8, he's going 14. I'm now touching that terrain feature and can see the Rhino as well as the Exorcist. As well as the Rhino on... Oh, no, the Rhino on the other side is obscured. And I can also see that Immolator from the front of my gun just there. The other Storm Surge is going to advance for a 2, a modest 2. So we're just going 10, just. And now we're touching that one, and we can just not see any of that. Oh, that's cheeky. We're going to go that way, and over the top of these crates, we can now see the tip of that Castigator's gun. All right, let's roll the shooting phase. This Storm Surge is going to shoot at that Castigator. It's going to fire everything because we don't have any other targets because I can't be fucked. Add in one more. Stealth suits to guide for both. Infiltrating stealth suit unit here just jumps over the wall there. The other stealth suit unit that's over here just jumps the wall and is able to see him. Whatever. Okay, no, let's go Piranha got himself in here so he's able to see some shit. All right, so the first one, this one, without the reroll hits of 1 and wound roll of 1, of course we roll that. Then wounding on 2s. Oh my god, Jay strikes again. Oh, did we get our CP back for rolling the advance? Let's try that. All right, we do. I'm CP re-rolling that shot. Okay, that hits. That goes through. Then the Pulse Blast Cannon on the big shot is like AP 6. So the Castigator has a 6-up invulnerable save. It fails. That Castigator is dead. Does it blow up? No, it doesn't. Second one, with rerolls of 1 to hit and to wound. Hitting on 3s, rerolling once. 2 hits. 2 wounds. 6-up invulnerable. Both go through 24 damage. That Castigator's dead. You see what I mean? Yeah, so Arby, it's only towering. The towering rule is what allows us to do it. Front Storm Surge for the Rhino. Which one? What? I think the footprint on the ruin at the back blocks line of sight for the Storm Surge. You're talking this one? Because if I'm able to see over the top of my gun can see the tip of her gun, which they couldn't position any more conservatively. And who would have thought that I'd get a line over the top of there? So I'm able to see from the tip of that gun, I can see that one. The Rhino, the Storm Surge is absolutely able to see that Rhino, as well as the Castigator. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. This is just an example. Other Storm Surge, you didn't shoot it yet? Yes, I did. This one picked up the Castigator in 2 shots. This one picked up that Castigator with 2 shots going through and doing 24 damage. So, that is how we use Storm Surges to shoot shit that people don't think we're going to be shooting. Units that are marked already, does Gun Drone having assault from Montcar just give them advance and spot anyway? It does, but if you can, generally everything you can take a Gun Drone on has Marker Light already, or you can take a Marker Drone. So there's not much reason to do it because the Marker Drone is functionally the same as the Gun Drone, but yeah, I don't see a reason not to give Marker Light to the unit. And so the Gun Drone you can advance and observe, but when you do so, you don't have the Marker Light keyword to ignore cover. So, if you're doing that, why would I give up Marker Light for 2 shots of Strength 5, AP 0, Damage 1? Does that make sense? This is where the laser lines come in handy? Yeah, fucking oath. And you still have the rockets. I'm not making my point very well. I might have missed what you were meaning, but everybody, you take my point. You take my point that with one not even having stealth suit support, the other one having stealth suit support, we pick up the only 2 tanks that can threaten my Storm Surges. And after that, it's like a unit of Paragons. Assuming that they put the Paragons in a position that I can't shoot right now. Because I would absolutely do the 4 damage shots to shoot those Paragons. Actually, let's see if they live. Let's see if they live. Let's do Paragon Warsuits. So I'm doing the 6-shot variant of the Pulse Blast Cannon. Rerolling 1s. Of course I did. So get rid of those 2 lethals. 3s to wound, rerolling 1s. Get rid of that. 3 saves, 4 up invulnerable. Alright, cool. 2 Paragon Warsuits are dead off the Pulse Blast Cannon alone. Boom, boom. That unit is immediately less effective. They only have 1 multi-melter left, and Morven Val has... What has she got on her? She's got the Prioris missile launcher, which is... I guess that's functionally the same thing. It's only AP2, so they don't ignore cover, so I could get that to just being on a 3-up save. But, yeah. Being able to just pick up tanks. Like, the 12 damage gun is just so good into like almost every platform in the game. Wu-Tang Bear, how you doing? Good morning from St. Louis. Good morning to you. Well, it's evening here in Catachan, but yeah. Good morning, good evening, good night. So that's how we're going to be using the Surges. And that's roughly our setup plan. And the good thing about this is that, like, yes, there's only a handful of places in a deployment where you can pull this shit off. But right now, I'm also observing an area where, like, somebody could think I'm doing it here. And I put this Fireblade over this way and do it so that, like, there's a Storm Surge which is, like, pre-game moving through here. Trying to get to this side of the board and just holding this objective forever. Like, you won't always be going, like, mad alpha strike with them. But having a Storm Surge, even one that's just like this, that's a hell of a prospect for an army. And if they dump everything into it, and they don't kill it, then their entire army has shot at nothing else. And you've got breaches, you've got piranhas, you've got a second Storm Surge, you've got all the other stuff that we were talking about that is then able to play the game and get some damage through to you. And because it's Montcar, your Pathfinders are still going to slap a little bit. Like, getting those lethals through, it does add up over time. So, yeah. Obviously, I'm not saying this list is the be-all and end-all. And this is not like, oh my god, I need to run out and buy 2 Storm Surges right now. Ah! This is a list that, if you're on the right terrain and you play it correctly, can be very obnoxious. I still think some of my other lists are way more competitive. But you know what? I so rarely get to run the Storm Surge. I'm actually really keen just to, like, put some time in on it. Can you show me where you would put them on that setup if you go second? It's something I struggle with in game. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. So if I've set them up, getting ready to go first. So they're like that. They're like that. Now let's say I've got Castigator there, I've got Castigator there, and the setup is roughly the same. Against Sisters, if this one isn't under threat, I'm not worried about this Castigator Battle Cannon because it's still wounding me on 5s. So let's say that I am worried about a bit of anti-tank or about something charging me that's very, very choppy and that I'm worried about. All I would do, because I don't want to give up a ton of movement on the Storm Surges, this one would go in like this. Now, what that does, because I'm not touching the ruin, towering doesn't let people see me. So, if they can't get forward of here, or like, where's my line to get shot? I might even pay the 2 inches to rotate him. Hey, how's that? So then, what I'm looking at is that he has to be forward of this to be able to shoot me, which locks off half the board from being able to touch this Storm Surge. And then on my turn, I can still do the 8 inch and the auto advance 6, or I can just touch this ruin in front of him and look at how much I can see touching that ruin. It opens up this entire side of the board. So he sits there. We use our obscuring rules to protect him. Then this one, again, if I'm worried, all I do is just move back or rotate and move so that I'm not touching the terrain feature anymore. Or even then, actually, no, yeah, we would probably want to do that because then it blocks off this entire angle. You have to be forward of these crates or forward of this building to be able to shoot me. And that is a finite number of units. So you do that, and then our turn 2. So let's say this Rhino moves up. Goes up 9, and then comes across 3. So it's touching that objective. We're going to have stuff spill out of that when I kill it. The Castigator pulls in this way because there's a Piranha for it to shoot in there. They've taken the bait. The Exorcist, because there's no reason for them to stay still anymore, moves into the building there so that they're within 36 inches of a lot of stuff to be able to shoot them. Immolator moves up. Let's go 4 inches to clear. Rotates 2 inches. Moves forward 2. Gets to rotate again because we've already paid the 2 inch tax. And then moves like, I don't know, fucking whatever's left. Let's go 6 inches. And goes there. This Castigator pulls up onto there so that it can see and shoot down this way at that guy. If we're looking at that, our turn 2, assuming that the Storm Surges don't die, which they won't, this guy moves up 8. Then we auto-advance 6. Touches that objective and is going to be ready to shoot either of these 2 things. If we want to prioritize the Castigator, we sacrifice movement and come down here so that we can shoot off this line. Then this guy rotates for 2, goes forward 6, and then advances, going another 6. Meanwhile, we've got all of our Devilfish and everything else spilling out onto other sides of the board. We've protected our Piranhas with 9-inch scout moves going into like behind buildings or whatever, and you continue as normal. That's where you start having your staging of Devilfish or whatever, like having this guy shoot forward there, having this one go up and just here, protected a little bit there, having the Breacher unit walk up like this and just go in there with an advance. I'm not going to chuck everything down, but you see my point. And also consider that if I'm worried about these vehicles moving like that, I may have a line of Kroot that are sitting like arcing around this way 9 inches away from there. So this Rhino might not have even been able to get in there and they have to like charge in or whatever. Or I've got Pathfinders that have scouted forward because nothing was on the deployment line just here, getting ready to move in and move block or whatever. Or going backwards. So going second is sometimes the best thing for your list because there's a lot. If somebody deploys really well and they don't leave openings for the Storm Surge to do what we did turn 1 before and like hang out here and whatever, then you don't want to go first. You want them to have to walk out first because if you've deployed correctly, there's no good answers for them. They have to expose stuff before you do. And don't forget in deployment step, you can bait that a lot because Storm Surges, when you put them down with the new Titanic deployment rule, I put 1 down, you put down 2 of your units. You get so much more information. you get 2 extra drops before you have to act, and you get to see where they're putting down some of their scary stuff. Now, does it mean that the Storm Surge is going down early every single time? No. Shit no. What it means, however, is that if you already know where the anti-tank is going to go because there's only a couple of places in the deployment that they can, or they've put it down super early, then you just go, okay, cool, I want to know where your trash is. Storm Surge. Storm Surge. And go from there. Bro, do you play Tau? Bongo, I do. I am a relatively good Tau player. Yeah, let's say that. Everyone needs 2 Storm Surges because reasons? No, fucking based. So the difference in double Storm Surge was that I had no Kroot and didn't take Shadow Sun. Took lead Starsides instead. Starsides instead is fine. Like, it gives you a deep strike threat. It's likely that I'm going to have, like, maybe, like, one of my Piranhas in Strategic Reserve just to, like, actually have something that can walk onto the board. But if I'm exerting enough board control, it should be okay not to have to worry about that. And with the removal of Deploy Teleport Home and that sort of stuff, like, yes, there's recover assets, but if I'm controlling the board well, I may not need Deep Strikers to achieve what I want to achieve. But, yeah, but I did use Shadow Sun with 2 Surges, Lightning Cao Yon. I forgot how good Auroras are. She's fantastic. She's fantastic. Bill letting him know. How do you play around the Stomper that gets Assault and then advance and charge turn 1? Okay, so a Stomper, and this is the same with any big model. And Bongo, because you obviously haven't watched any of my YouTube stuff or whatever, go and look up. There is an old video near the start of my channel where that's titled, But Why Kroot Hounds? Where I talk about, and I've done a little bit of screening stuff. There's also... I had on a very, very good Orc player. It's the video was how to defend yourself in melee, where I talk about screening and staging and all of the fundamentals that you need to have. So, like, let's say that this Storm Surge is the Stomper. Let's get rid of all the other stuff, and let's say that's a Stomper. Your answers are putting things in its road that it isn't able to like either walk over, or if it can walk over them, are able to stand in positions that they want to end. So let's look at the Pathfinder unit. One of the first things that we started using for this screening whatever. Now, I know that I'm going to be throwing them away. I know that, you know, them being out in the open is going to get them killed, especially on a light board like this. But what I want to do is go, all right, 9 inches away. And actually, let's chuck a 9-inch ring on him. So I can be outside of that. And I'm going to string out in a way that I can block off a bunch of the ways that he is going to try and block me. Oh, sorry, or walk over me. And you can string them out quite far. Now, I talk to my opponent and I'm like, okay, what is his capability? What is his move characteristic? And, you know, like, what are some other rules that I need to know about? Oh, he's got advance and charge. He's got whatever. Okay, so let's bring up Wahapedia and the Stomper, because I don't have the Orcs Codex. So, Storm Surge, Wahapedia. Not Storm Surge, Stomper. I went onto the Storm Surge because I was looking that up before. Let's have a look at this, and let me just check that my camera isn't blocking off a shitload of it. Okay, so let's go factions. Let's go Orcs. Where are you? Just there. And once that loads, let's have a look at the Stomper. We are... Where are you? Stomper. There we go. All right, so let's look at its characteristics first, because this is a game that's played with perfect information. Because it's played with perfect information, you need to get good at asking your opponent all the things that they can do. They don't have to tell you what they will do, but they do have to answer truthfully in order to, you know, answer the questions that you're asking. So if you don't ask questions, they don't have to tell you shit. Like, they should if they're decent people, but they won't. Like, we've all met people in tournaments that just tell you and give you nothing and just do stuff, and you're like, dude, that's a bit of a gotcha. And they're like, oh, I don't think so. You didn't ask me. So, why isn't this loading? Is what I know that it's a Russian thing, but like, Jesus. All right, let's try again. Take 2. Okay, here we go. So he can go 10. Each time it... Okay, so it can walk over our models. That's good to know. So, one of the big things with this model, let's drop that down. If he's able to go 10 and then advance and charge, we look at it and go, all right, reasonably... and actually, do I have a Stomper in my thing? I should do, right? Save load, Battleforge Workshop, Battleforge Mod Pack, that one, Orcs. Let's just go all warbands. We'll search and we'll go Mr. Stomperoony. Mr. Stomper. All right, so got that. Fuck off, Mr. Storm Surge. Let's say they deployed the Stomper with the eye that they wanted to be able to go through. Now, because of the change of if your base fits, you can move through. The base won't fit through there, but let's just say, for argument's sake, he can move through here. Though he has to go in this direction to be able to clear the wall and then go. So, we've got this model that is a little bit far forward. He can go 10. One of the first things that you need to do is measure where his 10 is. Then measure where his advance might leave him. Now, why that's relevant is that we're then going to look at his base size. So, from the back of his base, if he were to go 16 inches, that puts him there. If I put a dude right there with scout move or whatever, or if I'm going first, I've got all the movement in the world. I go like this, and I go like this, and then we look at 16 from there. Boom, back of his base is like 6 inches. Yep, cool. That Stomper, oh, sorry, and I'll finish this up. We make a little flying V here. And we extend this out as far as we can. 2 within 2, 2 within 2. Now, I'm not being exact with measurements, but you put them 2 within 2 of everybody. He moves a little bit back. And we could spread this out if we wanted to. Now, that Stomper is legally allowed to move to there. And can't because he stops within that building, but for argument's sake, he's able to move through. He's legally allowed to move there. If he advances enough, he can maybe go here. How much of a difference is that as opposed to being there? Now, the reason that is that if he goes 16 inches from where he is, and that's in a best case scenario for his advance move, by the way. He moves 16 inches. All right, I have mismeasured there. So what we do is we just have that guy go there. That guy go there. That guy go there. So, with all that measuring, notice how he is within 1 inch of my Pathfinder. He is within engagement range. That is an illegal move. If you cannot complete the move, you cannot start it and be outside of engagement range. Charge is entirely different. But the charge move, let's have a look at that. Notice how it says when it makes a normal advance or fall back move, it can move over you as if you don't exist. It doesn't have fly, so in the charge move, he can push in like that, and that's it. He can go over this way if he wants with the 16, and then charge in like that. Maybe he charges this way. But that, after a charge move, is very different to being here and then being able to threaten all this stuff with a charge down that way. Does that make sense? That is how, if the guns overhang, yes, you can put them there. It is off the base or the hull, whatever's closer, but because he has a base, his weapons can overhang them. His base cannot be in range. So that's where we're going off this little white ring, which is representing his base. I think it's supposed to be a transparent base or something. But anyway, so does all of that make sense? And if it's that it doesn't have a base, you're measuring from the hull. So you just measure from the back of the hull there. That's his 16 to get to wherever. That's still blocking him out. But yeah, the guns can overhang because the arms won't count. And that one's way too high to be in engagement range, I think. But otherwise, it'd mean that he would have to deploy like this. If that's part of his hull, just the same as our Devilfish accelerated burst cannons count, he would have to go like that. So still same. That's worse for him. Back of his model can only get to there. That's worse for him. So he won't even be able to get to the other side of this building. He will legally be allowed to move to there because of the gun. Nope, further back. And then he can charge in like that. And that's it. That's how you move block with a 90-point unit. What is it? What is the Stomper? 800-point model. And the fucked up thing is you could do that with a 5-man Kroot unit as well. A Kroot Hound unit. So yeah, that's how you stop a Stomper. You throw away a unit, knowing that they will not kill it and they will die. But this unit gets to move like, what was that, 3 inches on its turn? It gets to move 2 inches on its turn with an advance and charge. So that's what you want to do. And that's the thing with Death Balls. And I've covered this a couple of times in my different coaching stuff, which, shameless plug, if anybody is looking at getting coached, there's links in the description of the YouTube video, or go, thank you, Bongo, appreciate the follow, man. Go to pantheonstudios.com.au where you can get sessions with me, as well as there is a coaching pack for 2 hours of coaching, a list, and you can also get a heavily discounted game against me on Tabletop Simulator. But anyway, enough shilling. Then your Storm Surge pops it. I mean, kind of, yeah. If he can only move to there and we give our opponent no choice, like this is on our first turn. So he's back there. We've got 2 Storm Surges that we've positioned to hard fuck this thing. So we're positioned like, here, and we're positioned in there where the Rhino is. Oh my God, I threw a Storm Surge. I am the strongest man alive! But yeah, so we're there and we're there. And we just pre-game move the Storm Surge 6 inches. We then pay for an auto advance of 6. So we go 4. We've got 10 inches left. We go like whatever back here. So that we're holding that. And this one just 6-inch scouts into there. And we don't have to move. And this is the other thing, everybody. This is the other thing with Storm Surges. If I 6-inch scout and I don't have to move because I can see what I want to shoot, look at the amount of things that this has heavy on the gun. Twin SMS, heavy. Cluster Rocket, heavy. Destroyer, heavy. Twin Tower Flamer, fuck you, no heavy. Pulse Blast Cannon, heavy. And there's the other thing into a list like this, and Knights, when you target a Titanic model, you get full rerolls to hit and you can ignore all modifiers to the hit roll. And notice that says any or all, which means you can pick the positive ones you want to keep. So, these guys are stationary, and if we've got Shadow Sun, where my girl at? Come over here, waifu. She's within 6 of both of them. I'm also going to go fuck it and say the Storm Surges can only shoot the Stomper. I'm going to spend... Oh, no, it'd be my first turn, so I've already spent on an auto advance, but whatever. So, even without stealth suits, they're re-rolling ones to hit natively. So, let's play that out. Let's play that out. The Stomper, let's bring that up, is toughness 14. So, our 24 strength guns are wounding them on 3s. They got 30 wounds, a 2-up save, and a 6-up invulnerable save. Okay. All right. Let's try this, shall we? Waste of time because no heavy on your flamer. Dude's spitting. Dude is spitting. Let's roll this out. All right. So let's go the one that's got the heavy bonus because he hasn't moved this turn. He's hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s. Cool. Hits both the times. I will leave that. That's fine. 6-up invulnerable save. He fails. He takes 12 points of damage. Going from... He's not 40 anymore. He is... What did we say? 30 wounds. He's down to 18 wounds. Now, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to do the other Storm Surge. 3s re-rolling 1s. Thank fuck. Both hits. Stealth suit guiding him. Re-rolling. Beautiful. Saves 1, fails 1. He is from 18 wounds down to 6 wounds. Destroyer missiles. Let's do both of those at the same time. Oh, no, wait, I can't. Sorry, because the other dude has a heavy bonus. So, the dude with heavy. Re-rolling. Hits. It is strength 14. I'm Ron Burgundy. No, strength 16. Let's go. It's on 3s. All right. 6 up invulnerable save. He fails. He takes 5 points of damage and is down to 1 wound. No. D6 plus 2 on the destroyer. He's dead. Does he blow up? No, he doesn't. Stomp is off your field. Get off my table. Watch him fall. Watch him fall and fucking laugh as he does it. Oh, he's back up. Okay, well, get off my board. And then you know what? Just to drive the point home, because this fucking Orcs player brought a Stomper to a surge off, you flipping a table. Does anybody have a problem with what just transpired? Do you think for its 800 point value and its stupidly hard movement, is the Stomper worth it competitively? I don't think I'm qualified to answer that. My gut reflex is no. Generally speaking, you don't want to put like almost half your points in. This is why I don't take a Taunar unless I'm being a fucking moron. You don't want to give your opponent one big thing that is impossible to hide to just shoot everything into. That usually is the way that it becomes very easy to win a game or have your death ball move blocked, as we just demonstrated. So that's where, and actually let's just go back onto the Yap cam. So yeah, that's my gut reflex. Like, you can make it work, and I'm sure really good Orcs players would be able to. But just the same as, like, I'm kind of fucking around with Storm Surges right now. I think taking a Stomper would be something where you're leaning into the meme of it a little bit. And it's the nature of, like, of tabletop war games like 40k, where having lots of resources where your opponent can't just funnel fire and get value really, really leads to having more balanced play, because you lose a resource. Okay, I lost that one. That was 1/20th of my list. I'm going to send in the next thing. So 3 surges list. All right, let's build a 3 surges list. Let's build a fucking 3 surges list. All right, put Gaskell and Meganobs inside the Stomper for max points investment. My God, he's right. Okay, I've already got Battle Scribe open. Let's go off the Yap cam and let's go to the business cam. All right, I can make my face a little bit bigger here, because we all know that a forehead this size can't be reduced. All right, so let's go new list. Now, I know that this is relatively small. I apologize. Triple Surge. But I haven't found a way to make Battle Scribe any bigger. Actually, I guess I could fuck with the screen size. Oh, this is going to take fucking ages. This is literally going to take ages, but let's see if we can do it. All right. That is a little bit better. You don't need the shit on the side, I guess. So let's just look at this. Oh no, you don't really need the units. You want the context for what's happening over here. So all right. So let's just go that will probably work. Let's grab the chat box, just move it across a little bit. You don't want to, do you? Little piece of garbage. There we go. All right. You joke, but before the rules update, somebody took 2 into Townars to comp in UK and did really well. Is that after their points nerfs to 790 points? Because like don't get me wrong, I could take a double Townar list and I would be able to do well. But yeah, I think that's not data that we should look at and be like, yes, that is replicable and good against, like, if you were to go against some of the best players in the game. Hey Jay, why did you choose Tau? So I love Tau from when I was a kid. Back in, what was it, like late 90s, early 2000s, saw Tau in, like, my mate was getting into 40k, and I think it was a white dwarf that had Tau. They were just coming out. They had a bunch of like really cool looking units. They had the battle suits and everything. And I saw rail guns, and I was like, oh yes. And actually, any of my subs, could you please hit him with the rail guns? That I moved away from 40k when I was a kid, because it just like I couldn't really get anything. I couldn't collect the stuff I wanted to I grew up in a hyper conservative Christian household, and so everything was the devil. That wasn't like I wanted to collect high elves in fantasy, but if I didn't collect Bretonnia, it was the devil. And so all I could collect were the English knights, and I was like, okay. I was allowed to collect Astra Militarum, which was cool. I did love AM, and you know, with how the trajectory of my life turns out, it kind of makes sense, because I always loved military shit when I was a kid. And then I ended up joining the military and going to Afghanistan and doing all that sort of stuff. But like early on, there was science, and Astra Militarum was one of them. And then yeah, when COVID was hitting, I had a dude who will remain nameless. That's a spineless piece of shit that I used to be friends with. And he was getting back into 40k and doing a lot of painting. I was like, oh, I'll have a look at it. And I was noticing that like throughout my life, because I've always been generally a very intelligent person, I find that I get bored with shit quickly when I work out how something works. And like I've solved it and there's nothing else for me, and I move on. And I was looking for something new, and there was so much to learn in this that like learning something never put me off. It was actually an upside if there was a lot to sink your brain into. And so I started getting in them. I'm like, you know what? I always loved Tau. Fuck it, let's do Tau. And then, you know, just learning the game. It turns out doing all of your damage from ranged was really, really fun. And the first time I had somebody that was like a real condescending shithead, because I was a new player, they thought they were the shit and they were going to dominate me. And then after playing the game for like 3 months or something, won an event by taking them down in the last round, and not in a close way. Not close at all. And seeing the look on their face, I'm like, yeah, we love us some Tau. And that is what kind of like, it started when I was a kid, and it's just continued on. Like I was Tau curious at first, and then I came out and enjoyed being a Tau fan in the open, which has been really nice. And yeah, there's a lot of fucking jokes and shit, and everybody's got their like stupid like Tau fish, you're the devil of the game, and I'm like, I revel in that shit, man. Like, if somebody is that much of a douchebag that they're gonna, and like not the people that are making like memes and shit, because like, you know, joking about stuff and banter is fun. But I'm talking about the actual shitheads that try and like attack people in an LGS because they're looking at Tau. Or like stories that I've heard of like people going into an LGS and store staff making somebody feel bad about considering buying something Tau. I revel in the idea that I am disrupting their fucking life, and I'll walk away from that interaction and never think about them again. But yeah. I've been using YouTube Premium for a bit now. I was wondering if you're losing your money because there's no ads on any of your videos. Fingers crossed it doesn't. No, Jono, it doesn't. So basically there is a carve out in YouTube's algorithm for like all of their advertising. Premium actually will get me more over time because Premium doesn't care about ad blockers. So it just goes, when we run ads, do they have YouTube Premium? Yes. All right. This is your ad revenue. But to be honest, like I'm still at such a small point that ad revenue for videos is like, I'll put out a video that'll get like 5,000 or 6,000 views, and that'll get me like $1. Like it's the margins are not kind, unfortunately. So most of the revenue will actually come from like, you know, patrons and YouTube members and merch and all that sort of stuff. Shameless plug, pandastudios.com.au. Love you. I'm just going to take some painkillers real quick because we're due for another set. Haters gonna hate? Fuck yes. The edging to say coming out as Tau Eggshul. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we all have to. We can't go living in the dark forever. And even though some people have a problem with it, fuck those people. Fuck those people. Tau's calling the 20 Space Marine detachments. Fucking oath it is. Fucking oath. Tau has so much more flavor and like awesome shit. Like I don't know what it is. Like I can't do the poster boys. I went Wolves because I've been playing the game for a while now, and I always thought if I'm gonna become a basic bitch, I'm at least gonna be a basic bitch holding a V. So having unique units like the Space Wolves, and Chell loves animals, so, you know, it was easy to convince her to get the dogs because, you know, Mushu. And yeah, but like, I'm like, I look at them and whatever the poster boy is, like I looked at AOS and I could really love the aesthetic of the Stormcast Eternals. I really could love them because like I love all of the lightning things, the hammers, the bulky armor and shit. Like it does look cool. But they're the poster child that gets a new fucking unit every like 2 weeks. And I'm like, I love the underdog. I'm like, fuck you, man. Like, and you know, the funniest thing, I was thinking about this the other day. I actually, for anybody who doesn't know, I was a massive slut in my 20s. I guess I still am. I just like to do it with one person. But I even noticed that like when I was going out and, you know, I would have the option to go and talk to different people, I would never look at like the really popular girls or whatever that had be swarming with guys. I'd be like, nah, whatever. And I'd just like see somebody sitting over in the corner enjoying their night. And I'd be like, you know what? Fuck yeah, I want to talk to you. And that's not like that I would just like massively punch down or like, you know, that I was hooking up with people that I wasn't attracted to or anything like that. But like, if something was super popular, there was a part of me that had like a love of the outcast syndrome where I'd be like, I want to go and talk to the person who like isn't being swarmed with people and like, fuck that person. And they might have been a really nice person. I don't know. But yeah, having 2/3 of your data sheets culled is an underdog, right? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that classes you as underdog. But I mean, who knows? Who knows? Steven, thank you for the gifted sub to Bongo. Appreciate it, dude. All right, let's build this triple surge. Enough about my terrible choices as an early adult. All right, get it in the chat. What detachment are we going? You can build triple surge in any detachment. What are we running? Get your votes in. Enjoy those rail guns, Bongo. For non-AOS players, Stormcast had a datasheet cull right before the end of the current edition. Oh, I did hear about that. Yeah. No, it doesn't, mate, because you know they're going to, like, they will fill in that gap in, like, 6 months. They will just, like, Dread Mob. I wish we had a Dread Mob-esque detachment to throw Storm Surges and Riptides and shit in. I think that'd be fun as fuck. To be fair, Stormcast Eternals had more characters alone. Most of our other armies have data sheets. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Moncard for Lethal's on that chaff shooting. All right, keep getting your votes in. We've got vote for Kroot. We got a vote for Montcar. I'm surprised that we don't have any Cao Yon purists. Go full night mode. I would love that. I would love that. Seriously, it is a miracle I'm not a Knights player of some flavor with how much I love big models. All right. Well, I'm going to roll the dice if there's no more votes coming in. All right. RB bit the Cao Yon bullet. All right. So, a 1 and a 2 is Cao Yon. A 3 and a 4 is Montcar. And a 5 and a 6 is Kroot. All right. Here we go. Holy Grail has spoken. The Tau face of a 6 has won. We're doing Kroot. I think that's what it was, unless my brain's betraying me. But anyway. All right, so Kroot Hunting Pack. So, what do we need to do? Let's do the obligatory triple surge. Now, in terms of guns, we are going to have one with a driver cannon, the other 2 with pulse blast cannons. Now, the reason for that is that I want to have one at least which is able to take advantage of the big ass 72 inches of shooting. D6 plus 3, strength 12, AP 3, damage 3 with blast is very nice. It is very, very, very nice. And you've still got destroyer missiles you can send every turn if you want to pick up vehicles. But then you've also got the two pulse blast cannons that are able to send their stuff at a shorter range. Now, the other thing we're going to be doing, let's fill out the Kroot immediately. So, carnivores, naturally. I'm going to wait on characters. I do want a Farstalker unit. Where are you guys? So, we're going to have a 10-man. What are we at already? 1360. So, we'll have this 10-man. Put a Kroot Carbine on him, just for the meme of 2 damage. Let's chuck in another one, and let's make this a 20-man. So. Oh, wait, nope, we need 17. That's right. All right, and then you with the Carbine, Farstalker's Killbroker with the Tau Tech Rifle. Actually, just looking at this, we can probably shift you across like that, and you guys can still see everything that's relevant. There we go. All right. So Tau Tech Rifle, we're at 1510 points. If I put in another unit of Kroot, I think that's worthwhile. We go to 1660. We have a couple of things for backfield objective holders, like the Storm Surge, which is able to shoot over long distances. Though Krootox Riders might not be a bad idea, we do need to fill in with characters. Love the idea of Shadow Sun being able to give out to 3 Storm Surges reroll ones and put her as the Warlord. We are then going to go... now, we need Guiders. We desperately need Guiders. Stealth Battle Suits. We are going to have Fusion Blaster, Battlesuit Support System. We're going to have a Marker and a Shield. We're going to Duplicate. And we are going to Duplicate. Now, we've got 60 points left over, which means that we are going to throw in, I think, Dark Strider. Triple Surge Kroot list done. Stealth Suits to be second wave objective holding. Kroot Carnivores without characters. Is there a chance that I get rid of Shadow Sun and Dark Strider in favor of like Trail Shapers for some redeploys? I don't know. Because our Kroot won't be used for any damage purposes. All of our damage is going to come from the Storm Surges. So I think I'm happy with this. Maybe we could look at dropping a Stealth Suit unit. So we've got 2 Stealth Suits, Shadow Sun and Dark Strider for guiding, as well as a reroll 1's hit aura, which is still nice on the Surges. And with the 60 points left over, we get a War Shaper in there. I think having him... Dubbo and Triblade, yep. Being able to reduce the CP cost of one of the 20-mans for the cannot be shot outside of 18 inches. The EMP grenade to give other vehicles -1 weapon skill and ballistic skill. And being able to do... What's the other one? I guess you've got the -1 AP strat after doing something, but you probably don't want a 20-man proccing that. You'd really want the Kroot Carnivores or the Farstalkers doing that. But if we're going to go full meme in the Kroot detachment... Now, massive caveat for anybody who may be watching this. This is not good. Do not watch this and think, oh my god, I need 3 Storm Surges. This is not good, but a good player will be able to make this playable. Because, again, 3 Storm Surges. Having to chew through these guys, even without a detachment rule. Because Kroot don't benefit them. You have, what is it? 50 Kroot bodies. 60 Kroot bodies because of the Farstalkers. Fallback, shoot and charge. That's the one that I was thinking of. Triple Storm Surge Montcar, scout them turn 1. Yeah, you absolutely could. Well, 2 of them you can scout. These guys being... And here's the thing, we're opting in for a skew. The skew is massed infantry and massive, massive Titanic bodies. T11 20 wound, 2 up, 4 up save vehicle is a lot harder to remove than a Stomper. Straight up is a lot harder to remove than a Stomper. But if someone is complaining about their codex and you tell them to roll better, would that be a form of bullying? It depends. I mean, like, if it's in banter and it's with someone that you know and it's done in good faith, no, I think that's pretty funny. If it's somebody that's genuinely having a fucking whinge and they're pissing you off, and you don't care about that relationship, I might throw that out there just to piss them off and then peace out. If you're doing it over and over again when somebody's just like expressing themselves, then I think it's bullying. Beal does tell me to roll better all the time, but that is actually bullying because what Beal doesn't know is I cry after every single time. Yeah, Beal, you make me cry. Bet that gets you erect, you weirdo. Then I drink the tears. What happens if your crude screening models die? Yeah, you bring them back. Either that or you let them die because what you're using for screens will be the 10-man or the Fast Stalker unit, and that's 85 or 75 points. The crude's job, unfortunately, is to die. And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. The point of the crude is to get in people's road, gum them up, and like... I dropped TTS, but let's open it again. Like when you've got a unit that can go 14 inches on the first turn, that is a lot of room that you've got to bully somebody. And that's assuming that you don't advance them. So let's just go, let's go back to this one before I obliterated the table. All right, cool. So let's just use these Pathfinders as Kroot because they're basically on the same basis or whatever anyway. So if you've got Kroot that start in here and they go 7 inches. Oh my God, you're not measuring. 7 inches. And I'm just going to tick these guys. Toggles, measure movement. Then they move 7 and they're still eligible to charge. Now this is on tipping point. This is going the long way. They're already here towards this objective. And then you just advance them. Cool. They're going an extra 6. Now, as long as you're not like giving your opponent slingshots, then this is fine. You can position them in a way where they're like sitting on the objective and your opponent has to come out and this is the objective they don't expect you to get to. Now, if I have them sitting where that Stomper is... Oh, shit. Let's go back a little bit. I just hit Control Z and I realized you're not actually supposed to do that in TTS because it wigs the fuck out. All right, let's delete you out. And let's get you. Now, if I go from here, because I know I've got the scout, and I've got one dude inside that wall. 7 inches this way, and let's just say we get first turn. So we go 14. Now we're eligible to charge something just on the other side of that. Or, again, we get our 6-inch advance, and this isn't even spread out. But you've got a unit that's sitting there. Anything that's in here is only moving like 2 inches. And that's one unit of your crew. And then you go on to something like, let's change the board. And let's go onto FTC competitive map base. Let's reload the table. And then let's go WTC, search. Let's go, what's the one I'm thinking of? Search and destroy is a perfect one. Now what are our maps? That's a light one. Let's go with the medium this time. Light, light, medium, and light. Let's go this one. So that one loads in there. And we go, do I have a Kroot list that I'm rocking at the moment? I don't think I've got one saved. Let's just grab the carnivores here. Whoa, all right, I did. I forgot this was my Kroot list, but I named it incorrectly. Anyway, And then we go, no, it was search and destroy. Okay. So if we've got, let's just get rid of the characters, and we go, these guys, 20 man, just hanging out in here, and they go here. So this is our first unit. And let's say we've got our, let's get that. We've got our other one over this side. Not going to position them correctly because whatever, but yeah. And then we go like this. They are not toggled to measure. We go 14. We're sitting right here and eligible to charge. Like when you're able to do this with Kroot and you've got those scout moves able to move them an enormous distance, you can literally charge in and block up so much of your opponent's stuff. So much. And then if you've got a fast stalker unit who you've positioned like, you know, out here to block off, they then just move their 7. And this side's eligible to charge. So you can see how you can start boxing your opponent in. This is why Kroot lists are called Kroot Jail. Because you've got all of these units that are able to start locking people in. And if they manage to chew through a 20-man that has a 5-up invulnerable save, and if you put a Flesh Shaper with it, has a Feel No Pain, that becomes really, really obnoxious to get rid of. It really, really does. And then when they kill it, you just bank up 2 CP to go, all right, that 20-man's in strat reserve. And they're going to walk onto the board, probably with rapid ingress. And just start doing stuff for me again. You got to chew through it all over again. Sitting in his studio crying to his can of Fosters. That is actually like the only thing that you will get a rise out of an Australian on, but even then, maybe not. Fosters is the most American thing that exists. It is like, or maybe it originated in Great Britain, but like we have a town called Fosters and that's it. You come to Australia, you will not be able to find a Foster's beer, ever. It is not an Australian beer. And when I was in America, you actually found out that Foster's was manufactured in like Mexico. It was shipped somewhere else in South America, and then it was imported via South America into the US. And so, yeah, like Foster's is just like, it is the most, of all of the appropriations of Australian stuff. Like, I kind of love what The Simpsons did, and I love when, like, you know, actors put on the accent and they really turn up the ochre. That's fine. But Foster's is so dumb. It's the equivalent of an American saying that they are the only country that has freedom. And you're like, oh, bro. Oh, bro. Oh, my God. Any Canadians, because there's like 50,000 of you in my chat, if I were to just be like, all Canada is, oh, what's going on, eh? How about those roundabouts? Like, you would be sitting there just like, okay, yes, maybe some people speak like that, but holy fuck, way to reduce our country to like an accent. And if Australia's going to be known for anything, it's for everything trying to kill you at all times. That's what we want to be known for. Maple syrup. It was famous because the novelty was how cold it was served. Really? I didn't know that. Interesting. Interesting. Stephen, you didn't catch anything. You just failed to win a roll-off again. This is all a dream. Wake up. You fell asleep next to the table after you went second again. Oh, all right. Well, everybody, I will actually have to be an adult and head to bed at a decent time because we've got the RTT tomorrow morning. And any of my patrons or whatever know that my sleeping pattern has not been great over the last few weeks. Thank you, work, for that, you assholes. So I will have to love you and leave you. If anybody has any questions, hit me up. I will be doing little like shorts or maybe like a little YouTube stream off my phone. Tomorrow it won't be gameplay, but it will be just walking around talking shit and showing you my local. It is going to be a relatively small event. Actually, I did just have a thought. I'm going to bring up the event, or at least the list that I may be running to. So we'll do that before I fuck off, because I think that will have some value. And we'll be able to see what we're going into. Because I did a stream before a previous event, and it was basically like, what's my routine before I go to an event, and, you know, does that help people with preparing for their own? So let's do the same thing. Let's go play my events. Let's go Game Center Monthly RTT. There we go. All right, so what do we got? Let's bring up some lists. Oh, lists aren't visible. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I love that Richard Hill is there. Oh wait, no, so the event list is set to hidden. Oh damn. Oh damn. Okay, well we aren't reviewing lists. That's fine. We'll talk about it tomorrow, but the last time I went into Feud, I had no reps on Double Surge, and he just eked out a victory over me. And he was like, holy shit, dude, if you had any practice on that, I'm not sure I win it. And I fucking hate your Double Surge list. Because I one-shot Morty with Cao Yun. I rolled 2 6s on a Pulse Blast Cannon. All 4 wounds went through. He failed all 4 invulnerable saves. And we're like, okay, cool. That is 48 damage. Would you like to roll Feel No Pains? And he's like, nah, dude. He just, like, fuck this. He's dead. Jay sleeping before 11 p.m. Impossible. I know. It's weird, but it happens. It's weird, but it happens. I did actually want to have a look at some of those lists, but my big hope for tomorrow is that I get paired into Dan Sherry, because he's been wanting a game against me for ages and ages and ages. So, yeah. My Taunar did that to Shalaxi. Oh, I bet the Demons player was happy. One of the best moments I had against Demons was against player Georgie, who's a really, really good dude. George, fuck, I forget his last name. And I had Long Strike with old... I think it was old Cao Yun in 9th. This is when I got invited to Masters in my first year of play. And he got hit with a railgun from Long Strike and another Hammerhead. Both went through. We couldn't ignore demon saves at that point. And he failed both the invulnerables with a CP reroll. And he's just looking at it like, oh my god, man, I should have made one of those. And so Be'lakor was just dead. And that was with the -1 to hit, the -1 to wound, all of the stuff that he could throw onto that model. Didn't make a difference. What the actual fuck, how much damage does a Taunar do? I'm glad you asked, Stephen. Let's look that up. All right, Wahapedia, Taunar. And I'll swap over to our main cam so you guys can actually see that. All right. Sustained from 2 to 4 shots, 1 dev wound, 3 failed involves. Oh boy. Oh boy. Now let's reset my screen. There we go. So, the Taunar. What were you equipped with? I assume it was the heavy rail cannon array. So, this thing is 2 shots at strength 26, AP 5, 16 damage. So, if he went 1 dev wound, 2 failed invulns, that is what? That's 48 damage as well, off 3 successful wounds. And then on top of that, and let's have a look at what it's equipped with. The burst cannons, whatever, fusion eradicator, 3 pulse ordnance drivers, 4 smart missile systems, a tri-axis ion cannon, and crushing feet. And then you've got you can be equipped with either 2 Nexus missile launchers, which are fine, the heavy rail cannon array, and the fragmentation cluster shell launcher. So, I actually don't hate either the tri-axis or the fusion eradicator. So if he had a fusion eradicator, he would then have, if you got 2 of them, 10 shots at 24 inches of strength 10, AP 4, D6 damage, melter 3. Or if you got the tri-axis cannons on each arm, you've got 2d6 plus 6 shots at strength 9, AP 3, damage 3. The Taunar for 790 points is actually an output machine. It just suffers from the same problem as the Stomper, where, yes, this one is a 2-up save and a 5-up invulnerable, but I think this thing needs a 4-up invulnerable save. But 2 of these, you play correctly, and you can just table your opponent's entire army in like 2 turns or something. It's kind of ridiculous. 16 damage, all the lulls. Oh yeah. Sorry, it was just 48 Feel No Pains. Yeah, just casual 48 Feel No Pains. Can you make that, Mortarion? Can you make 48 Feel No Pains? That's so much better than any of the big knights. No, for twice the cost. Yeah, for twice the cost. It is... Because the big knights, like Chaos Knights, you've got the benefits of like being able to give them a 4-up invulnerable save, or some of them come with it innately. You can run through walls now. You can pay a CP to run through walls without having to take a battle shock test or charge through walls. You've got like Chaos Knights have battle shock somebody and then do grenades to them and heal off the number of mortal wounds that you do. Imperial Knights have Feel No Pains, and they have like all that sort of stuff. Generally speaking, the Taunar for its cost is about as equivalent as one of the big knights. It just has a shitload more guns. It is purely an output platform on an army that doesn't struggle with damage. So, Taunar and Crusade is gross. That's just fucking mean. That's just mean. But yeah, can give it a Feel No Pain and anti-vehicle, anti-monster. Is that the knights, I'm assuming? 16 dev wounds on 4s. Oh yeah. The one thing, like Taunar in Montcar, giving them -1 damage is actually kind of huge. It's actually kind of huge. Striding Behemoth's perk tree. Oh, it's still Crusade. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me chuck on my little Tau background, and we'll sit and chill to the animated goodness of our favorite faction. Look at that shit. So, everybody, literally called Supremacy Armor, but not a battle suit. Greater good rage intensifies. All right, so I could sit here and get sidetracked into talking shit all night, but I won't do that to myself, even though I would love it. Thank you to everybody who has joined us. And if I may, let me bring up the slides of my beautiful, wonderful patrons who make all of my videos possible. I literally couldn't be doing this shit without them, and I wouldn't be going to doing this full time without them. So, my homies in Pantheon tier, these guys get coaching from me every single month. They get a game against me every single month. They get live events. I'm just going to shut off my cam so you can actually see my Shazvraz. My Aussie Tournament Legends, my Shazvraz, all the people that are making all of my content become a reality to be able to do this full time. If you'd like to join them, if you'd like to support the channel, Patreon and YouTube membership are one of the best ways to support us, or grab yourself merch or coaching off the website where nobody puts their hand into our pocket. Nobody takes a cut. That is just me and my beautiful wife, Chelsea, who makes everything that we send out, and get yourself a coaching session. I'll get one of the coaching packs that give you 2 hours, a list build, and a heavily discounted game against me if you would like one as an add-on. But just going to put it back on this one because fuck, my Pantheon tier members are like making all of this a reality. So yeah, I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for everybody who's joined me for the stream and is watching this as a VOD. This has been really, really cool. Really, really cool. I love talking about what I'm doing the next day. It's really, really cool to just sit and talk about a hobby you love. So, yeah, I love you. I'll leave you. Everybody enjoy your day, your afternoon, or your night, whatever it is. And we'll have some updates tomorrow for how we go in the RTT. I've got medium hopes that we do okay. But at the end of the day, let me reiterate again. Double Storm Surge is not good. I'm just going to see if I can make it work by shoving a Storm Surge down someone's throat 20 inches. It'll be the first time I've got anything above 2 inches to work with. Is it being streamed? No, I'll probably just do little streams and like talk throughs and updates and that sort of stuff. Streaming last time was hit and miss because like the angle isn't good and I need to invest in hardware a lot more to be able to do it. Like I looked at a cam that I could probably use that attaches to a cap and you could just have my eye view the entire time. but that motherfucker's like $800, and I've got to work out if I can even use it to connect into my phone and stream through YouTube. So at the moment, it's a little bit of a pipe dream, but you know, we keep growing, we keep doing well. We might get to the point where you guys can come with me to every tournament I do. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Oh, before I go, do the internet things. Like and comment and share and all that shit. Or don't. I'm not your dad. I'll see you in the next one.